find a star with a 12-string guitar, lonely for a girlfriend. Imagining you.
Hello everybody, and welcome to week 7 of Dreams into Action's Rare Record Reviews. We've been in lockdown now for nearly 2 months, and the seclusion is doing strange things to our minds. For example, Vic has been even more introspective than normal, and is openly pining for a love that never was. Vic has had notoriously bad luck with the fairer sex. I find this unsurprising for a number of reasons. Number 1.
Listen, Bart, I am here, you know, and I'd rather we didn't broadcast your perspective on my love life, if that's okay with you. Perhaps we might put last week's rather embarrassing vanity portrait under the spotlight instead.
Vanity portrait, Vic?
Yes, Bart, the artistic profile picture of the three of us, which you plastered all across our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and website pages. Now, your image is rather flattering, portraying you as taller and more handsome than you really are, whereas Tommy and I are portrayed in a less than flattering light. For example, I'm portrayed as a sad, fat geek, whilst Tommy resembles some strange ape-like creature from the neglected regions of Joe Exotic Zoo, and you are up front and centre, whilst Tommy and I are tucked away in the back. It's like looking at all those pictures of the police in the 70s, which sting right in your face.
Speaking of being tucked in the back, not now, Tommy. Alright then, so how comes Vic and I look so chubby in the picture? Look, I did ask the artist to slim you both out a little and give your chin some added definition. You're both substantially more rotund in person than portrayed in the image after all. And my reasons for commissioning the portrait in the first place are actually very simple. I thought we needed to add a personal touch to our media, so our listeners and clientele can put faces to names, so to speak. It's always nice for customers to know who they're dealing with. Especially when I'm slipping it to a really ugly prossy. I don't always want to put a face to that. I'll just turn the lights off and imagine I'm rear-ending Ali Bet. Tommy, I have warned you about this filth. Not now!
I also note, Bart, that the artist took considerable licence with the height of your waistband. I mean, many cool black guys in Catford wear their trousers just below the buttocks, whereas you wear your high riders just below the chest.
Nonsense, I'm just a little high hip, that's all. High hipped? You ever caught your nibbles in your zip, Bart?
That was a good one, Tommy.
Well, I'll have you both know that the addition of the portraits to our social media channels correlates with a doubling of traffic to our website this week. You may mock, you may scoff, but you cannot argue with my cold, hard business savvy. Not that either of you would understand anything about that.
Well, one thing I do understand, Bart, is that we need to start flogging this week's vinyl treat to the punters as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we'll bore them shitless of all this talk. And this week's record, listeners, was released in the late 80s by a small independent label from Swindon called Emily Records.
The birds in the trees sing a song as we listen to the Jesus and Mary chain.
It all sounds a bit twee, Vic, and lacks a certain balls, for want of a better word. What's the genre called? Is it castrato pop?
Very droll, Bart. The bands on Emily Records were made up mostly of sensitive young men. They sang about love, or the lack of it, sex, or the fantasy of it, and a deep sense of adolescent angst.
Ah, I think this might explain your current bout of sullen morosity. You've been listening to far too much 80s miserableism and it's affecting your mind. My God, these chaps wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in reserve officer training. They'd have been buggered silly within 5 minutes of turning up at Sandhurst.
Well, they barely lasted 5 minutes as it was, Bart. The indie purist ideal of here today, gone tomorrow pop at that time dictated that bands would release one single and then split up.
Well, on the basis of this one, I'm quite inclined to agree.
But that was all part of the appeal, Bart, and it's what inspires this week's band to name themselves the Mayflies. The band were middle-class kids in striped shirts with floppy fringes, and they played cheap electric guitars. They weren't interested in music careers. Being in the band was just a way to get girls if you were a boy, or boys if you were a girl. And the Mayflies broke up and went on to work as management consultants in the city the minute they finished their sociology degrees.
Oh God, the bloody humanities. Now it all makes sense. Not an entrepreneur between them, I'd hazard.
Well, Bart, the label itself was successful enough. Okay, the production values were somewhat low budget, based in the DIY punk ethic, but it was sincere, it was real, and it was what independent music should all be about. Free from the industrial commercial trappings of corporate rock, and all done on the cheap and at home. And it sounds lovely, and I love it. Ironically, mint copies of this 7-inch now command about £75. Funny, given that no one made any money from it at the time.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised, but my God, if they're all so independently minded, why do they labour under the ridiculous strain of pathological idealism that something worthy shouldn't be allowed to make a profit? The idea that money is somehow wrong is just bourgeois posturing of the first magnitude that reeks of privilege.
Why does everything boil down to bloody capitalism with you, Bart? Hey, Tommy, guess who this is? The Mayflies were two left-leaning untermenschen who met in a gender studies seminar at Reading University. They couldn't pull girls, and they weren't interested in business because they were too bourgeoisie. If only they had listened to the wisdom of Margaret Thatcher, God rest her soul, and Ronald Reagan, God rest his soul, they might have turned out to be productive and useful members of society, making a valuable contribution and providing decent jobs for others, instead of amounting to nothing more than useless bloody humanities graduates. I mean, Bart, do I need to go on?
Oh, that was great, Vic. Makes me wish I had a decent job, and so I could make a valuable contribution to society. Tommy, are you being facetious? You're lucky you have any job, never mind one in a fine record shop such as this. I'll have you know that we provide a valuable social service to the public. Record shops are a valuable national institution. Like the NHS? No.
The BBC?
You're just being silly now, Vic.
Weatherspoons?
What I mean is that in this present crisis, people need us vinyl retailers more than ever. Stuck at home, bored stiff, eating, drinking, watching Netflix or the telly, and then bingo, I know, I'll hop online and order some records. And you know what, listener? You're absolutely right to do so. So pay us a visit at dreamsintoaction.catford and bag yourself a near mint slice of vinyl therapy for the bargain price of £60.
Of coloured balloons, jangling tunes, kissing you under a candy floss moon.